Hello ladies, introducing SmartFem Entertainment, the go-to resource for you, the busy woman on the go. Lots to do, so be a smart female and check out SmartFem Entertainment. We feature real women and their stories just like you.
Welcome to SmartFem Entertainment TV. I'm Lea Woodford, your host, and today we have a great topic. I'm really excited about this. We're going to be talking about how do you handle your spouse's crazy ex.
Meet Kim, who's been married for 17 years now and has seemed to come out on the other side after dealing with her hubby's crazy ex.
The first thing I would say would be that it was confusing, awkward, and exciting at the same time.
Meet Ken and Lynn, who asked to have their identities hidden because of Ken's crazy ex-wife.
Going through this process takes a lot of patience and a lot of time.
Drama ensue? Oh yes, huge drama ensues.
You become a pro at being a middleman.
So today we are here with a divorce attorney, Christine Forakis. Christina, thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me.
This is so funny. I put this out on Facebook. We were going to talk to different men and women and how they deal with their crazy exes, and I was shocked at the quick response. Apparently, there's a lot of people that have to deal with crazy exes. I suppose you see a lot of that in your profession.
I'll tell you, it is one of the most hottest problems in new relationships. It's the crazy ex syndrome. And
Really?
I see it constantly.
Next thing you know, she's buying a house. See her moving in, happens to be catty corner, like as in directly across the street from me. Coincidence? Who knows?
So why is it that even sometimes these normal spouses go off the rails?
Well, one of the reasons is the divorce process. I feel the divorce process often fuels the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So when you get a divorce, often there's problems, but it fuels it after you go through a horrendous divorce where both parties spend hundreds of thousands defending themselves and then stirring up problems that weren't even there. So at the end of the day, one or both of the spouses never want to see each other again. And not only that, they hate each other and they want to make the other life miserable for the rest of their lives.
That was the beginning of the nightmare with her. Just buying the house across the street from me. You can only imagine how that goes.
So did you end up moving?
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Did you ever see any behavioral changes in the children that you feel were a result of being pressured or coached by your ex?
There are certain times when things are shared, things are told, or half-truths or flat-out lies are said that have to be addressed. But those should be few and far between. But if they do, then you do need to sit down and say, listen, as a child, you shouldn't be involved in this kind of a dialogue.
We realized right away that we didn't feel like we were dealing with the children. We felt like we were dealing with the ex, because what was coming out of the children wasn't the children. Because it was easy to figure out when they're actually, when you've got a 3-year-old that's actually saying to you, my mom says I can't eat this. My mom says I can't sleep in this room. My mom says I don't have to do this. And it's all my mom says. So we immediately figured out that this child is not talking from themselves. This child is not behaving because they want to behave this way. This child is being told or being pressured to not want to be at our house, to not want to sit on our couch, to not want to eat our food, to not want to have fun, or to at least be made to feel as though they shouldn't have fun.
Feeling guilty for having
Exactly,
a good time.
absolutely.
Can you share on how we can be better as parents in maybe a not so perfect divorce?
I often hear from the kids and they'll say, I'm the parent in this relationship. And that's a sad thing to hear. And the reason why kids often feel they're the parent, because the crazy ex and then the divorce party will say, will constantly be fighting and use the kids as the middle person. Oh, tell your mom this, tell your dad this. And before you know it, the kids have been harmed.
Did you see any behaviors manifest in the children as a result of their loyalties being torn during this whole
Loyalties to their mom? Loyalties to their mom?
Well, loyalties because they like you, and then maybe she didn't like the fact
Well, the food
that
was a perfect example because
Uh-huh.
they'd never had a problem with eating for me. What I cooked, we took them out to eat, whatever we did, never had a problem with it. And then those were all of a sudden changes. Like I would poison them. They couldn't eat my food because I didn't know how to cook right. Only she knew how to cook for them. And these were all things that were put into their head.
And I think letting the kids talk and hearing them out and not responding is probably more important than trying to defend yourself.
What are some things that we can do? Well, first of all, I think a smoother, more amicable divorce helps the situation quite a bit. And there's a lot of divorce attorneys out there now that are using mediation, more of a win-win kind of a process, so that at the end of the day, we all think about the kids and we have a nice thing in writing. Everybody's happy at the end of the day. So there's not as much anger and resentment.
First and foremost is realize that you're not in competition with your ex. Give the children a transition into their new life. Be able to feel at home in two different environments. Different house, different rules.
I married the children too. I didn't just marry my husband. So when I married my husband, I married 4 people.
Now, I'm hearing about having to deal with or divorcing a narcissist. Well, I think people need to realize you're not going to change what that narcissist is going to do or the ex is going to do, but you can as much insulate yourself from that type of anger or whatever. And what you do is, first of all, with the proper legal documents after the divorce, get a good visitation, a good plan, and follow it. What happens is there's so much loosey-goosey kind of stuff going, and, oh, you were going to pick them up. No, you weren't. You didn't do this. And if it's in writing, I think then you just tell the other party, I'm just following the plan, and follow it, and don't veer from that schedule.
Now, how can you insulate maybe the new spouse, the new wife, the new husband about this crazy ex?
And I'll tell you, there's nothing that will ruin a new relationship than to have a crazy ex in the picture. So in order to keep your relationship good, you have to do the insulation process that I'm talking about. And you think as you're yelling on the phone back and forth, it hurts the new spouse also to see you communicating with the ex-spouse. And often the ex-spouse knows your buttons, knows and how can they most irritate you? By getting the new love of your life upset. So that's a common syndrome, and you have to protect the new spouse from that because they can't do it themselves. It's very difficult. You have to take the action as the party that,
take the high road.
Yeah, exactly.
What are some things that you and your husband have learned? What kept you together throughout all the crazy drama?
Kept us together. I think for us, and this is going to sound so cliche, honestly, I think that we were meant to be married.
One of the comments that our kids' mom said to them is, "Why are you guys so happy over there?" They shared that with us, that was a comment that she made to them. And we just both looked at each other and we thought, because we know when to shut up.
Can't be selfish. Can't be selfish.
How can we help our children deal with somebody who is maybe, again, the unstable ex?
Yeah, there's nothing you can do as far as when there's visitation or time with the ex. You cannot tell the child, you can't talk to your mother, you can't talk to your father,
Right.
anything like that. They're going to do what they're going to do. But you can, if you're the calm party, the one that doesn't get angry and handles it maturely, then the child will see how you're handling it. And you don't even need to badmouth the ex. It's interesting. Let the ex do whatever they do. The kids will see it. And when they're older, they will look back and say, oh, look, my mom was so calm and wonderful and kind. And look at the ex, it was all yelling and crazy and emotional. So take the high road. Be calm. Use your attorney. And don't talk a lot about the ex and your anger.
Now, I'm a firm believer in getting our children in counseling when they're going through something, that kind of turmoil, and their loyalties are being torn. I believe that they need to go to a third party and get a little counseling. What's your thoughts on that?
I think
think counseling is always good because the kids always do well talking to a third party. They can talk about their feelings and emotions. And so that never hurts to do that.
Children are going through one of the biggest changes that they've gone through. A lot of their life is changing. And they need to have a safe place to have that dialogue.
Their best interest is always the most important thing, and that's really hard to decipher because sometimes you don't know how much to tell them. You don't know how much to hold back. You don't know how much is too much.
Those kids, they didn't have choices. They didn't have choices in our marriages or our divorces.
And realize it's not their battle. You need to handle it yourself instead of letting the new spouse handle that battle.
Is there ever any relief for the new person?
No, in fact, there's not even any relief after, let's say you remarry. After, let's say you marry your husband, he dies. You think the crazy ex is bad now. Talk about fighting over the estate after he dies. Because the ex-spouse will get an attorney, and guess who potentially inherits part of your estate? His children. So that crazy ex can go on even after the death of your spouse. So you need to have the proper legal documents, wills, trusts, and do it. Don't wait till the person's about to pass away and they may have dementia, then it could be contested. Do it now.
So really, along with a good prenup, what we also need is a living will or a trust.
Well, I'll tell you, you have to have a will. And a lot of people don't understand this when I explain it to them. If it's a second marriage and you don't have a will, 50% of your estate goes to the kids, like the husband's kids, if he has kids from another marriage, and only 50% goes to you.
Wow.
So by doing a will, you say, or you want your husband to say, I want 100% of my estate to go to my spouse. So please, everyone, at least get a will. It is so important.
Regardless of the kids, regardless of anything, do I want to be without him? And the answer was always no. No, I don't want to be without him. I love him.
Yeah, I would love for my ex to have considered it, and I know that I did for her life, which is, if there's good people involved and they love my kids, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
My kids get more people to love them. Wonderful. A new set of grandparents. How lucky.
Wow. Interesting topic, Christine. It's not something we're going to be able to fix right away, but these are some important tips that I hope our viewing audience will take very seriously. Thanks for watching.
Hello ladies, introducing SmartFem Entertainment, the go-to resource for you, the busy woman on the go. Lots to do. So be a smart female and check out SmartFem Entertainment. We feature real women and their stories, the kind you want to see. SmartFem Entertainment, online, on air, everywhere.